Okay, so today we're going to try to dive into the mind of Benjamin Cowen.
Oh, yeah.
Um, he's, I guess, most well known for his YouTube channel, Into the Cryptoverse.
hmm
But this is less about what he says about crypto and more about just like how he thinks about crypto.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. And I think that, you just can't get around the fact that his background is just so unique. It's just
Hmm.
so interesting. Like we were talking about before the show,
Right.
he's not your typical like Wall Street finance bro, you know?
Not at all.
This is a guy with some serious scientific credentials.
I mean, it's pretty amazing that he spent time as a senior member and a postdoctoral researcher at Sandia National Laboratories.
Yeah.
I mean, Sandia Labs, that's like,
Big time stuff.
yeah, that's top-level research.
Absolutely.
What was he even doing there?
Well, at Sandia, he was focused on a variety of different projects.
Yeah.
But, before that, he was at the University of New Mexico, doing some really interesting work on incest-P3 signaling.
Yeah. I have no idea what that is.
Basically, you can think of it as like the language that cells use to communicate with each other.
So,
Very complex stuff.
so we're talking about someone who's used to like looking at data and looking
Yeah.
for patterns that most people wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think his scientific background it really shapes how he approaches the cryptocurrency markets.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see that reflected in the type of analysis that he does.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get caught up in the day-to-day hype. You see so many crypto analysts who are just like, obsessed with short-term price movements.
Yeah.
Cowen's kind of looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
He's looking for those long-term trends and patterns.
Right.
And to do that, he, utilizes his background in computational mathematics,
Yeah.
and really tries to identify signals in the noise.
It's interesting, though, because it's almost like he's treating the crypto market like it's this big scientific experiment.
Yeah, and that's part of what makes him so interesting is that, he's applying this scientific framework as something that is inherently very chaotic
Right.
and unpredictable.
Yeah. I mean, it's all driven by speculation and emotion.
Right.
So how do you apply, a scientific mindset to something that's so like driven by human emotion?
Right, but that's what Cowen argues is that,
Yeah.
despite all of that, you can still find these underlying patterns. You can still find signals in the data.
Yeah.
And I think his research and his focus on these deflationary coins really kind of highlight that.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's even got that, whole Telegram group set up for it.
Yeah, he's super passionate about these deflationary coins.
Right.
And for those who don't know, deflationary coins are cryptocurrencies that are designed to become more scarce over time.
Mm.
So the idea is that as the supply decreases, the value should increase.
Right.
And this really aligns with Cowen's data-driven and his long-term perspective. He's not just interested in making a quick buck. He's interested in understanding the fundamental mechanics behind these cryptocurrencies.
And how they might play out over, the long term.
Exactly. And I think that's another thing that really separates him from a lot of the other crypto analysts out there. He's not just focused on, the price action. He's
Yeah.
really trying to delve into the underlying technology and, understand how these things work.
So we're talking about someone who's being taken pretty seriously in this space.
Yeah, I mean, he's had his work featured in, major cryptocurrency media outlets, even Real Vision, which is known for, its in-depth financial analysis.
Right.
So, I mean, that really says something about his credibility.
Yeah, it really does. And I mean, for someone who's like new to crypto or maybe just trying to make sense of everything,
Yeah.
where does this leave them?
I think when it comes to Cowen, it really comes down to, what you value.
Mm-hmm.
Do you trust someone's gut feeling? Or do you trust someone who is approaching this market with, this scientist's mindset?
Right.
I mean, he really presents a very different way of looking at the market.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you wonder if his data-driven approach can actually like find order
Yeah.
in all this chaos.
Right. Can you find a signal in all this noise?
Right.
And that's, I think, the ultimate question.
Right.
And I think it's a question that's worth thinking about. Even with all the data in the world, can anyone truly predict the future of crypto?
Right.
But I think Cowen offers a really compelling perspective.
Yeah.
And I think his work is definitely worth exploring.
It's definitely a unique approach.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our deep dive on Benjamin Cowen.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
And we'll catch everyone on the next one.
See ya.
All right. Bye.